This is, I just wanted to read just a very few verses. I'm going to be in Luke 1. Let's see. Let me see where I want to start. Verse 39, I think, is where I'll start. And it said, and Mary rose in those days and went into the hill country with haste into the city of Judah, and entered into the house of Zechariah and saluted Elizabeth. That's John's mother. And Mary and Elizabeth was kin, they were cousins. So that meant that Jesus and John was going to be cousins. Excuse me. And it came to pass that when Elizabeth heard the salutation of Mary, the babe leaped in her womb. And Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Ghost. And she spake out with a loud voice, Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. And whence is this to me, that the mother of my Lord should come to me? For lo, as soon as the voice of thy salutation sounded in mine ears, the babe leaped in my womb for joy. I just wanted to ask you, when is something leaped in you? When is the last time that something meant so much to you that it leaped? That joy of your salvation bubbled up in your soul and you couldn't contain it anymore. There ought to be something leaping within you. If nothing is leaping within you, you need to check your pulse or something. I remember when me and Melinda were dating. I lived in Huntsville and she lives right down from where we're living right now, about 23 miles. I'd come after work, and I couldn't hardly wait to see her. The days I didn't get to come, it was sort of sad to me and her, I suppose. And I tried to call her. I would try to call her. Now, the one problem we had was there wasn't cell phones. There wasn't private lines out in the country. It would cost you a pretty good bit. And her mother was on an 8-party line, and I would call her, and there was another woman, an older woman. I don't remember who she was, but she'd pick up while we was calling and listening to your conversation. They used to do that, but I wanted to talk to her so bad. Later on, I got drafted. I had one child, one on the way, and to talk to her, it was just meant so much to me. I left out October the 27th, 1970, and I didn't get to see her again until December the 17th. I was away from her and my little boy all that time. How bad I wanted to be with her. It's sort of like this coronavirus right now. How bad we want to go back to church. But anyway, the only way I could talk to her, since we didn't have cell phones and all the other things, there was a pay phone. And there would be soldiers lined up waiting to call their house, their home, and talk to their loved ones. I'd get in that line. Lights out was about maybe like 9 o'clock. I'd get in that line after we'd have chow that evening, and there'd be a big long line. And I'd finally get up to the phone booth and dial. The line would be busy. So if I didn't really want to talk to her, I could have went on. But as it was, I wanted to talk to her so bad that I'd get back in that line until I had to scramble to get back to my barracks before lights out and bedtime. So that's the way we ought to be. We ought to have something that would make your heart pound. There ought to be a song within you. You ought to have a song in your heart. Don't die with your song in your heart. Sing your song before you have to leave this world. There ought to be something that you love so much that just the mention of it makes your heart be filled with joy. I think we ought to smile. I think we ought to have a song with this. If a caged bird can sing, if a caged inmate would be able to sing, We are the people that should be able to sing. I think everybody's happy. It's just a theory I got, but some people hadn't notified their face yet. I think we ought to hold ourselves up. We ought to smile. We ought to not do so much complaining, and we ought to be the happiest people in the world. I told this, you're going to think this is silly, but I told my wife, I said, I want a smile on my face when I get down to the end. I want you to negotiate with the funeral home director, the funeral home man, and see how much it would cost to put a smile on my face. I've never seen anybody have that kind of smile, and I'm doubting it. So part of this is in fun, but I don't want to be a sad sack here or afterwards. And I told her maybe they could clip these nerves right here some way and turn this up where I could smile. I don't know how much it would cost, but I wanted it. I look like a cat eating a rat, but brother and sisters, I'll be happy. Why can't we be happy? Why can't we have joy in our heart? Satan would love to stoop you over. When the man was on his way, the Good Samaritan, from Jericho to Jerusalem, and he got robbed. It said they stripped him of his of everything, I guess. And don't let Satan strip you of your. He will strip you of your joy. He'll strip you of your happiness. He'll strip you of your effectiveness. He'll stoop your shoulders if you'll let him. So God didn't intend for us to be stripped. That's why he put fur on animals. That's why he put feathers on birds. That's why he put fish on scales on fish. So he does not want us to be stripped. So if you'll let him, Satan will pick you to death. And I thought of this, and then I'm going to try to close. I heard a story about a man. And there's very different variations of this. It's just the way I recall hearing it. And he had a flat late at night. He didn't have a jack, and he's on an old country road, and he saw a farm light way down the road. And he thought, well, they will have a jack. I mean, a farm equipment, he's got a jack of some sort. And he started down there, and when he started down there, that voice started talking to him and said, yeah, but he's probably in the bed. And he said, well, he won't mind getting up for an emergency. Then he said other things to him. He said, he's not going to want to let you borrow that jack. He's not going to want to let you do that. He's probably going to insult you and make you feel bad. And talked to him all the way up to the man's house. And when he knocked on the door and the man came to the door, he said, just keep your old jack. So that's the way we are. We're going to church. We think they ain't going to want to hear us. And Satan talks you out of something before you ever get started. So I just wanted to encourage you to keep that joy bubbling up in your soul. If you need me, let me know. May God bless you is my prayer.